Hey guys, Defective Detective here, and today I'm back with another video. And in today's video we are going to be covering the Readline module, which is a built-in Node.js module. I'll be explaining that in a bit, but before that, sorry, my microphone is a bit messed up for some weird reason, and it is making some mechanical whirring sounds while recording, so I think you will have to make do with the crappy audio of this time. Also, the keyboard and other sounds are going to be a bit more louder, so please bear with it. Might want to reduce volume or something, that's suggested. And with that, let's get started. So basically, Readline is a built-in module of Node.js. If you don't know what Node.js is, you still need to learn it before getting into this. So Node.js backend is made for how to put this, is a JavaScript runtime which is built on Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine as it is written here, and it is used to make backend apps, along with sometimes front-end apps as well, but that's pretty common. But it is basically a runtime. You can do whatever you want to do or something. So for this one, I have currently 15.4.0 for some reason installed, so we are going to be working with that right now. All of these versions support it, even though it is said version 16.4.0, but well, if you want, you can use it with version 14. You can even, I think, use it with version 10, since the last time I checked it was released with either version 8 or version 10 of Node.js. So, and if you are not that old of a developer, because if you were, then you probably wouldn't be watching this, so I expect that you have a current or a new version of Node.js running. Alright, so I'll be linking this link down in the description box below, so you guys can view it yourself. This is the documentation for the entire Readline module, and yeah, so let's just do a demo and see what it can do. Apart from that, I intend to make another video on this Readline module, which will be secret, so beware. So I have already got a project set up. Now the thing is, let's just initialize a node project or an npm project. And okay, seriously, my terminal is slow, I guess. Okay, seriously, yeah, I just totally didn't spam that. So we can edit the package.json by hand, so it will be an MIT license, and obviously that's Defective Detective for you. Also, we are going to have our main as so/index.js, and this is not mandatory, by the way. Okay, so if you don't really want, you can not use it. So node source index.js, if you want, it will work without it, because as I said, it is a built-in Node.js module and it can work like that. Also, please allow me to take the liberty of adding a module for myself. This is not actually mandatory. I normally work with linters a lot. I like using linters in my projects, so I'll just install ESLint in my project. It's a dev dependency, so it doesn't really do anything for our code apart from making consistent code styles. It is suggested that you use it, but you can not as well. So Index.js. So I am putting all of my code in the Index.js of the Index.js file, and Now we can just minimize this and let's get started. So for those who like are accustomed to using like Node.js, they can simply use this. Okay, wait, why did I put the minus? Okay, Readline, and that will import the module for us. If you are more accustomed to using, you know, ES6 imports, which are like import Readline or something on the lines of that, well, this is this is in like Node.js, and you use the require function to like import stuff. So now as you can see, it takes in a parameter known as ID, which has to be a string, and you can import various stuff with it. So like if you wanna require, let's say we have a fellow JSON, like if we had something like data.json, and then we could like, you know, put, instead of this we could do data.json to import data. We could just import stuff from other files. Okay, so that's the deal in here. Now after making or importing the package, what we're gonna do is we are going to have to create an interface. So we can name it, let's say, like, it is a standard name it RL because reads lines or interface, whatever, but I'm just going to name it interface for now, because why not. And we will be using a, you know, a function inside of the readline package, which will be create interface, which returns a interface. That's pretty much it. Now this can take in like a bunch of parameters. One, you could do process.stdin and an array of arguments, or you could pass in an object. I personally prefer passing in an object because then I can at least keep track of what I am like inputting. So this is the input, and this has to be process.stdin, and output, okay, I am seriously bad with spellings today, std out. Now if you're wondering like what is happening right now and what are process and like what's process and what's process.stdin, I'm going to explain. Process is basically, as you can say, it is a Node.js.process. So when you are like running a program, it will be running a process for you. It will be like taking a single process, like, yes, this file is running, you can see this file running, that's it. So that's the process variable, and you can like you have these properties stdin and stdout. These are basically like stdin basically stands for standard input and stdout stands for standard output. So basically it is kind of saying like for now you can say it like it taking the user input from the console and putting the user output on the console. You need to like just have a stream there, but and you can use other stuff as well. So yeah, now if you run this, we can actually see our interface there. So npm run test. The moment when it will say node, I'll understand that something is running, I guess. Okay, seriously, my terminal is way slow too. Yeah, it's super slow. Yeah, so here's our interface. So basically it has loaded, I understood that, and like here's our interface. For now it just doesn't do anything because we haven't defined anything yet. We have just created the interface. So like I can type in my stuff or something else, whatever else, and you get the idea. So now if we let's just take a user input from the user. Now there are multiple ways you can do this, and the simplest way is just interface dot wait, what was it? Yeah, question. So now this takes in two parameters. The first parameter is a string, which is your query. So what do you want to ask the user? So like this will be your question, and I'm just going to put a new line because how this works, or how it works, is after every normally when we code, we see a new line is automatically added after each console.log, but in this it is not added by default, and if you want to add it, you have to do it manually by using the /n or the new line thingy. That's because process.stdout doesn't really have that by default. Okay, so now we are going to have a function which will have input as a parameter. Now what input is basically a string which we'll get from the user, and it is mandatorily, it will be mandatorily there. But you know, if as I did a bunch of enters, as you guys saw that I spammed a bunch of enters, it will still pass in an input. It will just be this, the single quote or double quote, whatever, a string with no length. That will what it will pass, or input will equal to. So if input or there's another way is input dot length equals 0, then, but I'm too lazy actually, so return console.log. So you can still use console.log here. Actually this prompt thingy is confusing even to myself, so I really use it. So console.log, you didn't provide any input, or else seriously, why am I being so dumb today? Okay, so if the user didn't provide any input, it will return the function right at that. But if he did, if they did actually, then we are using template literal here, template literal, yeah, pronunciation's bad too. So it will be input colon, and or maybe I could name it input provided and that npm run test. The reason I set up the test script is because the source folder is already populated, and I don't really want to run node source.index.js. So see, we got a prompt, and now I will write my answer. So what shall be my answer? My answer shall be undefined. Yes. Okay. We can see that there was an input provided. Now if you notice, or before we start noticing something, I'm just going to exit the program and run it again, and this time I'm not going to provide any input. Yeah. Now if you have noticed, I have to I'm manually exiting the program up till now. The reason for that is we are not closing the interface, so the program does not know when the interface is going to end, so it will keep it open like it is still open until and unless you have to you manually close the interface. So if I like keep doing this on, or if I keep spamming, then like it will just be open like that. And that's the main thing of it. Like you can do anything you want here, kind of, unless you manually close the interface. Now, how do you close the interface? What you do is interface dot close. This is the function which you run. Now, this code has a bug, which I'm showing you right now. Wait. npm run test. Since I like stop, I need to like keep stop killing terminals so much. I could just minimize it and that would be it. Yeah, so as you can see, the program just exited without even letting me take the input. And the reason for that is pretty simple. This is a synchronous function. So basically what a synchronous function is, or synchronous programming, I don't know how to put this. So the compiler or the interpreter, I don't know, is it an interpreter compiled language exactly, but the Node.js runtime will basically go line by line. So it will, okay, yeah, this guy imported readline. This guy then made a variable called interface from the imported package by using the function in the imported package called readline interface and passed in these parameters. Okay, good. Now interface question. Okay, this is a cool question. He put, and then he has a function. He just put a function. I'm not exactly running it right now. It will just move on without even waiting for that to be true or the function to be run. It will like kind of wait, like how the code in the back end works is it will kind of wait for your input, but the program like passes this already, and after that it just sees, okay, interface are closed. And if you close the interface once, then the event won't run, and since there's nothing else which is gonna run, like there's no other code running, so then it will just exit the program. Now how do we like stop this from happening? One way could be let's say putting this in our like function. Okay, what? So interface dot close. Yeah, so you could just put this directly into your function, and it will keep listening. If you didn't provide any input, then wait, I could just remove the return and put an else. And now if an input is provided, then it will log this. If it is not provided, then it will log that. But regardless, the interface will close. npm run test. This is my question, my caps question, and that's it. So like, yeah, pretty much this is a workflow which you'll be using if you like work with Readline. Now Readline is kind of like how do I put this, pretty much raw, if you want to put it like that. Like it directly works, and it is kind of irritating in GL because like using callbacks is not that cool. Also, if you like have multiple questions which are coming up, so like interface dot question again, so it is gonna be annoying because the interface dot question is gonna just move on to the next one pretty quick, and you will need to go with the nested function, nested like request or nested question, which is like, as I say, super annoying. but still you can use this pretty well. Now apart from this, Readline also has events. So what events are? Normally what do we call as events? Something happening, right? So basically you can listen for events in the terminal or in the interface which you have. Okay, so in the interface which you have, you can listen to that for events and you can act accordingly. Okay, so I'm just going to comment out this code because I don't really want something to disturb me right now. Yeah, I don't. So interface dot on. Now you got on and you got once. So like these are two event listeners. Event listeners meaning things which are code which listens for events. Now there is a minute difference between on and once which I will be showing you guys like soon, like in this video, but a bit later. So now you got, as you can see, well, a bunch of stuff which you can use. So firstly, this is the line, like line event, and it always gives you an input. So it is kind of like interface.question, apart from the fact that you're asking the question. So like you're not asking the question. So yeah. And personally, I prefer, if I ever work with this, I personally prefer working with the line event as compared to the question, unless and until it is a really small project with one question and I need to work with that. Then I'll obviously pick question. But if I have something like a calculator or a order machine or something like that, if I make, then obviously I'm not going to use that. Damn, my throat's pretty dry today. So what we can do is just console.log, and I'm gonna put single quotes, and this will be the input. So we're just gonna log the input for now, and you can just see what will happen. So if you don't want me to spoil it, then you could skip for 5 seconds or something. Basically, line event is triggered or emitted whenever, or in the interface, whenever you have a new line break. So whenever the user presses and enter while being in your interface, the previous input which it had, or the thing which it is entering out from, will be that. So let's say hi, so it will log hi. If I don't put anything, it will be an empty string, a string with length 0. So like hello world, hello world, hi world, whatever, something. So this will continue, right? So that's our first event for you. Next event is kind of self-explanatory, which is close, and this one is like all of them are void. They don't actually or they at least aren't supposed to return anything. Even if you do, it won't be used. So keep it void if you wanna, or if you shall. Anyways, this also does not have any parameters to notice. Now what this close event is, so whenever I am like running this and for some reason or for somehow I am exiting this interface, let's say with the control C, it will close it, or it will exit it basically. So let's say console.log violate nice time spent talking to you. So if we like have this and restart our program, because I really should have Notebook, I don't know why I don't have it. Yeah, so like we got our interface up and running. So running interface, testing. Yeah, it is. Now if I do Control C, it is supposed to exit it. Yeah. So you can, like, if you have something using this and you want to, like, you have some kind of connections to close, you have some, let's say, if you ever work with this, I don't know who will exactly work with this ever. Like, this is useful indeed, but I don't know how many people exactly use it like this in this base level. People normally use some kind of high level stuff. High level in the sense, like, this is literally you are having to code everything. People often use libraries like Inquirer and Commander. Wait, Commander is not related to this exactly, but so yeah, Inquirer, maybe Yards, I don't know. So if you have something to close, let's say you have a database connection, or you have, let's say you just want to send a goodbye message, or anything on the sorts of that, or on the lines of that, you can do this with this. Okay. Now, let's just now allow me to show you the difference. There are other events too, but I just want to show you the difference between on and once. So let's just make this once and run this program, and we did it. Now let's just say hello world. Okay, Jello world, and see, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It won't work. And the reason for this is, it, like, once the event is emitted, that run that function, no more. After, like, when it is run the second time, the third time, the fourth time, apart from the first time it is run, emitted, that's it. You aren't going to require it again. So probably you'd like to put the close as once, because, you know, it makes more sense, because you will be only having that, you know, once. Now we have other events too, and I'll be going over one more, which is SigInt. So this is another void function which does not pass in any parameters at all. So yeah, so deal with that. Now what SigInt is, it is basically, you can say that SigInt means signal. So sig means signal, and int means interrupt. Yeah, is that spelling right? Yeah, it's right. So SigInt basically means signal interrupt, and when we actually run, you know, Control C, you get the SigInt event. Okay, and if you actually don't want your user to ever leave your program, let's just do console.log I ain't letting you go, mate. And if you, like, run it like that, see, if I'm just running Control C, I'm just pressing Control C, but looks like it is, like, pretty much insistent on not letting me go, and that's kind of cute, you know. So I need kill the terminal to basically do this. Now if you want, the use cases for this event will be kind of like, are you sure you want to leave? So we could do like const or console.log are you sure you want to leave? And, well, you know, I could just send const leaving I don't exactly know how to deal with this, but my basic coding style kind of says that, I don't know. And I could just set leaving as true, and I'm just gonna say if leaving, then console. If you wanna leave, then please type y. Now it will be just in case someone is spam pressing Control C like I did, then we will be running that, and then we can go on into our line, and we'll be waiting for our users input. So now I want this to run only if leaving is true, and I'm to return at the end of it, because I don't want the input to be shown in any ways, because that would not practical in the least sense. Now I'm gonna say const void if input dot to lowercase, because we should respect the fact that people often use capital Y and small y. I'm not going to let them use YES at all. So yeah, then I am just going to close interface.close, and this will emit this make or cause the emission of this even, by the way. So yeah, now else it is either an invalid input or it is not. So if input dot to lowercase equals interface void console.log I'm using single quotes for some reason, and else you just say I'm just assuming you don't want to go. I should really make this double quotes. Why did I make it single quotes? I don't know. And we'll be setting leaving as true. Test, and if I do SigInt now, are you sure you want to leave? Then I'm going to do Control C again. If you want to leave, then please type Y. Wait, I didn't have return. Okay, I should have returned this. I'll do that next time. Now if I do N, I knew you would not go, and it doesn't let me go. Now if I do SigInt again, if you want to leave, then please type Y. Type Y. Bye mate, nice time talking to you. So that's what happens, or that's how you use basic Readline or Node Readline. How do I put it? You can use it like that, and there are various other things which you can get, which is okay. My browser is lagging a bit. Oh yes. So as you can see, you got plenty of stuff. So it is well documented, a bit too well documented, a bit too straightly documented, but I wouldn't blame them, because firstly, maintaining such large library, or such not library exactly, but such large an application or a runtime is going to take big hard. And after that, if you try to provide meticulous and beginner friendly documentation, it is going to be like really hard, because firstly not everyone thinks like what beginner friendly in the same way. Now they just kept it as concise as possible, and that's kind of good, I guess, because like at least they have like these examples and you can read these. At least like the close event is emitted once or when one of the following occur. Okay, yeah, and you can like read up more as you want. Okay, yeah, so are you sure you want to exit? This was a better way probably. So yeah, I just did what I felt like doing. You're not mandatorily bound to have this, but whatever, kind of doesn't matter. Anyways, so that's it for this video, and be prepared for the next one, because I am gonna do a great one the next time. At least I have the intention to. So yeah, see you guys in the next video.